This video contains subject matter that may be offensive and disturbing to some people. If you are the type to require a warning throughout a video or show, let this message serve as your warning. This channel discusses the harsh reality of true crime. If this warning is not sufficient for you, consider a different genre and unsubscribe from my channel immediately. I was in jail already at the beginning of the show there. Wow, how'd that happen? Alright everybody, have you guys all heard the warning at the beginning of the show? Okay, so that's the kind of stuff that we cover on this show. So if it's something that you don't want to talk about a serial killer or anything like that, just tune out. We don't need to hear why you don't want to listen or watch or anything like that. Just don't watch, okay? I have the warning message at the beginning for a reason. Alright, okay, great. Okay, here we go. Yeah, we talk about all kinds of stuff here. We don't do trigger warnings, we don't do any of that stuff. The intro at the beginning of the show is for the people who get triggered. Alright, don't watch. Thank you, Shogun Love. Alright, here we go. Actually, my wife just came on, so hold on one second.
Woohoo, what a great show idea.
Yeah. Okay. Now I'm back. Alright, back over to this one. And can I still put your comments on the screen? Does that work right now? Okay, good. I can highlight your comment. It'll be at the top now. Yeah, I think this is a good way to do. I think this is what I'm going to do every Sunday from now on, is pick a different one. Maybe, we'll do Kemper at some point. Go through some of them. Then there's some lesser known people out there. So here we go, here we go. And there she is, okay? Linda Ann Healy. And this happened, she went missing on February 1st, 1974, okay? All right. Thank you, Sooner History. Shake it for me, Taka, she said. Alright, here we go. I'm going to open up. We're going back in time now, just like we said. And some of these, they weren't reported because they were just missing persons. They weren't reported for a while. But I did find on this genealogy website, they have all the Oregon and Washington. I'm going to turn down this after this. The Dancing Taco. Alright, let me turn that down. Okay, turn that off so there won't be any more notifications. But thank you, Kathy Friday Maker and Jennifer Cochran Fent. Yeah, well, it's weird. All of his victims have there's a similar look to him. You guys ready? So this is in this genealogy website that actually has articles from Oregon and Washington, where newspapers.com doesn't really have a lot. So it's I was fortunate. And this is a paper from February 4th, just 3 days after. So it says, except for a few not so typical mysteries, Linda Ann Healy, 21, would be just another typical missing person. But those few strange details have brought Seattle homicide detectives into the case. Police said today they were looking for new leads in the search for Miss Healy, a University of Washington psychology student who disappeared from her home at 5517. So I guess what we can do is load that in there. Let's let me, you know what I'm gonna do really quick? Let me load these in. So there's Bundy. I'm gonna put this one in here. Linda Ann Healy. And we'll just do this each time we get a new one. Alright. And then we'll go to the address that we just read. So that was 5517 12th Street, 12th Avenue. And looks like that's at Northeast Seattle, Washington. Right there. Linda and Healy. So that must be right here. You can't really see it because of the trees, but right in that, right there, that house right there. Okay, so let's see. University of Washington psychology student who disappeared from her home at 5517 12th Avenue on Thursday. Her housemate said she last saw the co-ed, described as stable and reliable, by friends about midnight Thursday when her employer called the next morning to ask why she hadn't come to work. The housemate checked Miss Healy's room in the basement of the two-story house. And now she's going to describe the room. The room was intact, the door open, and Miss Healy's alarm clock was ringing. Interesting. Like it was set, but she wasn't there to turn it off. Let's see, it was ringing. So strangely, the friend said, Miss Healy's bed was neatly made, which was not her habit. Interesting. There was no sign of a struggle, so she'd never made it to bed, obviously, then. But detectives said they found a small amount of blood in the... Wow, that's really weird. So maybe she did make it onto the bed. Maybe she was attacked standing up, placed on the bed. It says there was no sign of a struggle, but detectives said they found a small amount of blood in the bedding and pillow. Wow, so did he actually make that bed? That's crazy. Missing were a pink satin pillowcase, a few items of clothing, and a small red rucksack with pockets. She was not reported missing until Friday night, when she failed to show up for dinner with her parents, Mr. and Mrs. James Healy of 12553 Southeast 52nd Street in Bellevue. But a friend with whom she worked at the Northwest Skier newspaper at 903 Northeast 45th Street said her associates all knew something was wrong at 6 a.m. Friday when she didn't show up for work. It just isn't like Linda. The friend said she was just 15 minutes late once and she felt terrible about it. One of her duties is broadcasting ski condition reports for radio stations. I remember once she had to go out for something at 8 in the evening, and she asked 3 of us to go with her. She was just that way, the friend said. Miss Healy, a Newport High School graduate and a very good student at the University of Washington, was described as deeply interested in music. She sings in the oratorio group. Miss Healy is about 5'7", 115 pounds, with blue eyes, long brown hair, medium to fair complexion, and very sparkling teeth. When last seen, she was wearing a white smock-type blouse, broken hiking-type boots, a turquoise ring on each ring finger, and earrings. Persons who might have knowledge of her whereabouts are asked to contact detectives. They give a number out, but I'm sure that's not good anymore. Yeah. So isn't that's interesting, right? To go back in time. Like, this is just a random story in a paper. Nobody has a clue that there's a serial killer out there at this point. Yeah, now this is a lot longer. This article here, it has tons of... I wasn't able to read it because I don't even read any of the articles before we do, other than sometimes grab an address or something like that. Because I like to go through it at the same time. Hey, Marianne, do you mind if we just go through it? And, you know, you keep... I'm not sure what you're talking about. Yeah, this is 1974. February 1st is when she went missing, as I said a few minutes ago. All right. It was midnight, and most of the big old houses along 12th Avenue Northeast in the University District were dark. A light shone in a rear bedroom on the ground floor of the two-story house at 5517. Yeah, so that's the house we're looking at. Yeah, 5517. A light shone in a rear bedroom on the ground floor. There, two University of Washington co-eds laughed quietly and closed the night with idle conversation. The taller woman, with blue eyes and brown hair, talked about a boyfriend and psychology quiz, and the brown-eyed one listened. The tall woman said goodnight and left for her own bedroom in the basement. Those are facts. What happened next is the subject of grim speculation. Suppose that a man had been concealed in shadows on the south side of the house, waiting. He watched the light flick on in a basement bedroom, then lowered himself to the ground level window and strained to watch movement through curtains. The light went out. A door on the opposite side of the house inched open almost noisily, and the man stepped into a small foyer at the top of the basement staircase. Measuring his steps, this is speculation here. Let's see. Measuring his steps and his breathing, the man moved slowly down the concrete steps into the room. His hand over her mouth muffled the scream. She attempted to struggle, and he held a knife at her throat. The man ordered her to dress, and they left as silently as he had come. Yeah, except there was blood on... You kind of left that part out. But there was blood on the pillows and on the sheets. Well, you do mention a knife at the throat. But. Detectives believe that the mysterious disappearance of Linda Ann Healy from her University District home 13 days ago warrants grim speculation. A hypothesis of the 21-year-old co-ed's fate has evolved from clues left behind and the impressions of 4 other women who lived in the house. Miss Healy's clock radio, set for 5:30 a.m., was playing when her housemates found the bedroom empty the next morning. Their only assumption then was that she had left for work without turning it off. Linda Healy did not show up at her job that morning. More facts. The woman's only transportation, a bicycle, never left the house. None of her coats was missing. Her wallet also was left behind. A saucer-sized spot of blood was found on her pillow. There also was blood on her nightgown. So let's see, a saucer-sized spot of blood on her pillow. So that's kind of a big spot there. And there was blood found on her nightgown. None of the housemates can recall having locked the side door. Miss Healy, a UW senior majoring in psychology, was cautious enough in her life to convince her family and friends that she would not have left home alone in the middle of the night. And the unexplained disappearance leads to the painful conclusion that she was abducted. Not a sound was heard. Karen Shavlin, 21, a housemaid, whose room also is in the basement, wow, remembers that Linda Healy's bedroom was dark when she came home at 1:30 a.m. Well, that's interesting. So it seems like she was already in her nightgown, but man, he must have made her bed. I mean, that's just really weird. A thin sheet of plywood separated their rooms. So that's weird. The killer must have still been there at the time, because remember later on the light was on, I think. A check of her wardrobe indicated that Miss Healy left wearing bell-bottom blue jeans, a white blouse, and hiking boots. Her yellow ski cap and her knapsack also were missing. Almost like he had her dress or something. The fact that her pillowcase was gone makes less sense. And another loose end is even more baffling. Linda Healy's bed was made almost meticulously. It was out of character, her housemates say, because Linda seldom bothered to make her bed in the morning. Her housemates have moved out of the green home on 12th Avenue Northeast. They do not feel comfortable there. Yeah, I wouldn't either. Joanne Testa, 21, was the brown-eyed one to whom Linda said goodnight at midnight, January 31st. So that's crazy that at 1:30 the light was out. 2 nights before, Miss Testa said an unidentified man fled when he was found in the basement of a home 2 doors away. Wow. Earlier in the week, she said a prowler was reported outside a nearby apartment house, testing a locked door with one hand and holding a knife in the other. Fighting back tears, Joanne Testa described herself as Linda's closest friend. Miss Healy worked part-time for the Western Ski Promotions in the University District, and part of her job was to broadcast ski condition pass reports. This has been Linda with your Cascade Ski Report. That's how Linda Ann Healy concluded the 60-second spots that were heard over some 20 radio stations in Washington and Oregon. Had someone become obsessed with her voice? Take your best shot, a homicide detective said. We have interviewed 72 people. Hey, there's 72 again, Emily Flotilla. And haven't learned a thing about what might have happened to her. We have talked with every guy she dated since the age of 15, and you'd be proud to have any one of them as your son. It doesn't look good. It doesn't look good at all. I think that's not related. Yeah. That's pretty wild, though. What do you guys think about that? Isn't that strange? That it's almost as if they... I mean, that time of night, she seems like she would have been wearing her nightgown. It's almost like he made her dress again, and at night point made her leave. But first he cut her somehow, and forced her to dress, and then for some reason made the bed, and then wow, she probably had already set her alarm clock too. You know what I mean? Like she turned it on, so that's why it went off the next morning. By the way, I ate one of those Son of Baconators tonight. Pretty good. All right, so there you go. We're still on the first victim though. So hold on. Then on the 3rd of March, you just got these little articles, Homicide detectives are at a loss as to what happened to Linda Healy, a 21-year-old UW co-ed. She has been missing since January 31st. They're pretty good, Emily. Pretty good. Then in June... Oops, hold on. The parents of Linda Ann Healy have offered a $1,000 reward, probably equivalent to $5,000 or $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 now, for information leading to the safe return of their daughter, missing since January 31st, it says here, but I think it was in the morning of February 1st. However, a private detective hired by Mr. and Mrs. James Healy reported that several leads all have reached dead ends. Miss Healy, 21, a student and part-time ski report announcer, disappeared from her University District residence during the night. Left in her room where her clothing and wallet, traces of blood were found. The private detective said he is working with the Seattle Police Department, which continues to follow leads as they arise. The Healys said they believe their daughter could be in Oregon, where they have relatives. Police suspect foul play. And then there's this story here. Homicide detectives were checking Wednesday into the disappearance of an 18-year-old University of Washington co-ed from a residence just a block away from the home of co-ed missing more than 4 months. Police said Georgianne Hawkins of the Tacoma suburb of Lakewood was last seen early Tuesday after she left a friend's home to return to her sorority house. Hey, thank you, Amber Maiden! Wow. Yeah. Well, you'll be able to watch it tomorrow, Amber. Well, thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Wow. Thank you, Half Rudder. And for all of those out there that are triggered by these kind of stories, I put the warning at the beginning of the show, and there's no need to say that you're triggered and don't watch, okay? All right, so thank you. There's stuff out there that just might not be comfortable for people. So this is another person right here. Police said Georgianne Hawkins of Tacoma suburb of Lakewood was last seen early Tuesday. She had told a friend she was returning to her room to study for final exam, but never showed up. Several acquaintances reported talking to her as she walked back to the sorority. Police said they were seeking any links between her disappearance and that of Linda Ann Healy, 21, last January. Miss Healy disappeared from her basement room. Blood was found in the room, and detectives suspect foul play. Right. So that was the first victim. And I'm not even going to, we're just going to go over, at this point, this is how it was reported at the time. You get it? And so maybe down the road we'll figure out like what actually happened and those kind of things, but I think it's really interesting to go back like this. All right, so that was February 1st, and then March 12th was Donna Gail Manson. Yeah, unfortunate last name there, but so this is, let me show you her picture. I've got that. See that? Parted in the middle, brown hair. I mean, everybody's heard that. Evergreen co-ed still sought. Thurston County Sheriff's deputies searched today on the heavily wooded Evergreen State College campus near Olympia for a missing 19-year-old Auburn co-ed. Donna Gail Manson, a freshman, has been missing from a campus dormitory since March 12th. When last seen by her roommate, she was wearing green pants, a red, orange, and green striped top, and a fuzzy black maxi coat. She had planned to attend a jazz concert with the roommate and another friend that evening. Miss Manson is the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Lyle Manson of Auburn, Washington. Manson is a music teacher with Seattle Public Schools. Yeah. Alright, so here we go. Answers sought to co-ed's disappearance. About 7 p.m. on March 12th, Donna Gail Manson waved goodbye to 3 friends and walked out of her dormitory at Evergreen State College. So let's just go to that. And let me get her folder here. Hold on. And Evergreen. Okay. Evergreen State College. Evergreen State College. She was, and that's supposedly in Olympia. Does that make sense here? Yeah, that's in Olympia. So this is Evergreen State College. Thank you, Plato. Yeah. I'm glad some of you guys appreciate it. Yeah. All right, about 7 p.m. on March 12th, Donna Gail Manson have waved goodbye to 3 friends and walked out of her dormitory room at Evergreen State College. She was headed for an on-campus jazz concert. I wonder if there's a... I was thinking that looked like a... Yeah, maybe an amphitheater, but that's a parking lot. It was just interesting at all at a curved angle there. Okay, anyways. I mean, this is 1974, so it probably looks totally different. Hey, Michelle Nicholas, good to see you. Last Saturday, nearly 150 persons. Thursday, Thurston County Sheriff's deputies, Explorer Scouts, Fort Lewis Rescue Unit, and other volunteers combed the timbered 990-acre college campus and the surrounding wooded brush-covered area. No trace was found. We don't have a thing, Sheriff Inspector Charles H. Grafe said yesterday. Everything points to probably violence, but we're watching, asking questions, circulating posters, and waiting for a break. As in many missing girl cases, there are scores of questions but virtually no answers. Donna is the 19-year-old daughter of Lyle E. and Mary Manson of Auburn, Washington. The brown-haired, blue-eyed girl, doesn't that sound familiar? Entered Evergreen last fall after graduating from Auburn High School and attending Green River Community College for 1 quarter. Evergreen authorities say she is somewhat quiet and reserved, but with the normal number of friends and acquaintances and a better-than-average scholar. As far as has been determined, she has no steady boyfriend here. She was not known to have serious problems of any kind. One question is why her disappearance was not reported for 5 days. Rod Merrim, Director of Security for Evergreen State, said no inquiry was made to college authorities about Donna until March 17th, 5 days after she walked out of the room. That's pretty weird, right? The brother let's see. The brothers the hell out of... Oh, wait, it bothers, excuse me. I was wondering, like, how does that make sense? That bothers the hell out of me, if you want to know the truth. Yeah, it should. That's pretty crazy. I mean, these are, like, her friends, and nobody reported a damn thing for 5 days. One thing hampering the investigation is that this is spring break and at Evergreen, and students are scattered. The 3 girls left in the room when Donna walked out the door were Deanna Ray of New Halem, or Rockport, Skagit County, who until then had been Donna's roommate, Phyllis Lee of Berrien, and Megan Ellis of Gallup, New Mexico. Donna was reported to have been concerned about her appearance in the few hours before her departure. They, the other 3 girls, and she changed clothes several times, but said nothing about having a date or meeting anyone. When last seen, she was wearing a red, orange, and green striped blouse, green slacks, and a distinctive black maxi coat. The coat was square-shouldered, belted at the waist, and made of a fuzzy material described as plush. About 2 days after the girl's disappearance was reported, a college security patrolman said he thought he may have seen Donna. So this security guard says he thinks he may have seen Donna during the evening walking along a little used road on the campus. He said she looked preoccupied, as though she might be waiting for someone. A thorough check of Donna's room showed that apparently she had taken nothing with her but the clothes she wore and $20. Her camera, which she was known to carry with her virtually all the time, her flute, backpack, sleeping bag, and other personal possessions, all were in the room. It's not unusual for students to take off for 2 or 3 days, but usually they let someone know, the security director said. Hold on a second. Yeah. Let's see. Thurston County Sheriff Don Redmond, when notified March 19th of the girl's disappearance, put out a bulletin to all points in Washington, Oregon, and California. The college has circulated posters bearing Donna's picture and asking for information. There have been no results. So far, no one has reported seeing Donna at the jazz concert that night, but there will be more questioning when students return to school Monday. One thing that bothers Graff and other sheriff's officers is that Donna was known to have been almost a constant hitchhiker. Kids these days think nothing of starting out with no money and hitchhiking all over the country or wandering along dark streets and alleys with no fear. Questioning will begin when classes convene Monday. The school newspaper will urge anyone who saw her to inform the college and law enforcement authorities. So, pretty, I mean, it's just weird, right? Like, you're just reading this. These are these people that are just missing. They just vanish, basically. You know? Just poof, gone. And this is about her again on April 3rd. Students, friends, and faculties of Evergreen State College are offering $500 reward for information leading to the whereabouts of a missing co-ed, Donna Gail Manson. It was announced yesterday. Miss Manson, a 5-foot, 100-pound student, last was seen March 12th when she left her dormitory to attend a jazz concert on campus. A college spokesman said friends and faculty at the college set up the reward fund after returning from spring vacation. So that's all there was back then that I could find anyways. And then, so that was March 12th. So now we've had Linda Ann Healy, February 1st. Donna Gail Manson, March 12th. It's almost like 5 weeks apart. And then April 17th, Susan Elaine Rancourt. And here's her. I don't think that one, that doesn't look right, that one. Hold on a second. No, excuse me, I got the wrong, this is Parks. She's in the wrong folder. Hold on a second. I gotta put her in a different one. Just a second. Yeah, she's supposed to be right there. That's the wrong one. Okay, this is her right here. Susan Elaine Rancourt is right coming up. Ah, man. Hold on. You know, if you have if it's ends with a JPEG with an E in it, it just creates all kinds of problems. And it's just brutal. Like everybody that has Apple sends you something with an EG and then it open it, you know, you can't just open it. So this is her right here. Looks kind of like a touched up type of image from back then. Alright. So, Susan Elaine Rancourt, April 17th, 1974. A statewide search has begun for Susan E. Rancourt, 18, a Central Washington State College freshman. So let's go to that one. Notice how they're all college students too. So now we're good. Let me add her folder in here. And Central Washington State. I wonder if it's still there. Yep. And let's see, Ellensburg. Where's that? Oh yeah. Yep, so that's the town. That paper that we're looking at is the same town that the college is in, so that pretty much verifies that that was the right place. Okay, the co-ed was reported missing at 3 a.m. Thursday by her roommates. See, early in the morning. After she failed to return from a meeting on campus, school officials said. The meeting ended at 8:30 p.m. The Rancourt family had lived in Spokane, LaConner, Everett, and Marysville until moving to Anchorage 2 years ago. Miss Rancourt was a good student majoring in biology, Dr. Robert Miller, Dean of Students, said. This is totally untypical of anything she has done in the past, Dr. Miller added. Are you guys finding this interesting? I am. I'm not even, I mean, I don't know anything about all of these, you know. I knew that he killed a lot of people, but I wasn't familiar with all of them. You know, you just hear about ones here and there. Alright, so she was 5'2", 120 to 130. Eyes were blue. Her hair was blonde, so that's a little different than his normal dark-haired one. shoulder length, age 8. But as these articles are being put out, nobody knew at this time that there's a serial killer. There might have been people talking behind the scenes like, whoa, this is the third college student missing. Susan was last seen Wednesday, April 17th at 10 p.m. She has not called home her residence hall at Central Washington State College, any of her known friends, nor has she been seen with anyone since Wednesday. She was last seen wearing a yellow coat, yellow short-sleeved sweater, gray corduroy pants, and brown hush puppy type shoes. If you have seen Susan or anyone closely resembling her, please call her nearest police department or sheriff's office. Okay, now there's an article on the 27th. So the next day. She went missing on the 17th, and the article started the 22nd, 26th, 27th. Now here's one with their parents in it. We believe this is the parents. These are the parents right here. Dale Rancourt and Mrs. Dale Rancourt. And then that's their daughter right there. We believe Susan was abducted because she always knew what she wanted and always was very logical person, very predictable. Dale Rancourt summed up in answering the second most important question facing him and his wife. The first question is, where is Susan Rancourt, 18, a freshman who disappeared from the Central Washington State College campus on April 17th? Susan had put her laundry in the machine to wash and had to go back and put it in the dryer. After attending a training session for potential living group advisors, her father said. A straight-A student, Susan sought an advisor's position because the free room and board would ease the financial situation for her parents, who still have 3 of their 6 children living at home in Anchorage. So she was going to be like I think it's called like an RA, residential assistant. After working at 2 full-time, 7-days-a-week jobs last summer in Anchorage, Susan found a full-time job in an Ellenberg nursing home while attending school. The only thing she had with her when she went to the meeting was her dorm keys. If she was going to stay overnight with a friend, she would have packed a suitcase and told someone where she would be. That's just the kind of girl she is. She's known since she was in high school, a high school junior at LaConner, Skagit County, before the Rancourts moved to Anchorage, that she wanted what she wanted to do. That's so small for my eyes. She wanted to do something in medicine, maybe in research. Yeah, she was a biology major, so that's why she was majoring in biology, and Central Washington State College was the place. She loved school and Central, he continued. Her father noted, if it was one of my other children, I'd say just stand by, they'll be back in 2 or 3 days. They have done some foolish things, but not Susan. She always was very careful. Every boy she brought to the house was completely acceptable. The Rancourts are in Seattle seeking the public's help in finding their daughter. Before, it's always seemed like one of those things that happens to someone else, her father declared. It boggles your mind when it happens to you. Taking a vacation time from his work with Anchorage Telephone Utility, Rancourt has contacted friends of Susan and the family in Spokane, Wenatchee, Everett, and LaConner, and helped police evaluate descriptions of girls seen in Seattle, Kent, Camano Island, and several places in Oregon. One telephone lead appeared promising last week, and an eastbound train was halted in Shelby, Montana, where police and railroad detectives talked to a young passenger with blonde hair. It wasn't Susan. Susan is 5 feet 2 inches, weighs 120 pounds, 130, has blue eyes and shoulder-length blonde hair, and wore a yellow coat and sweater, gray corduroy slacks, and brown shoes when she began the 3-block walk through the middle of campus when the meeting broke up at 10:30 p.m. Man, just a little tiny 3 blocks. Her head down, Mrs. Rancourt added. So far, there's no leads. So, that's it for her story back then. So we have, again, February 1st, Linda Ann Healy. March 12th, Donna Gail Manson. April 17th, Susan Elaine Rancourt. And then May 6th, I'm just not doing it, Arthur. Just, can you see what the topic's about? We're not doing Delphi. You go ask your buddies on Reddit. Just not interested. Every night that I do Delphi, it's always a crappy night. Okay, but can you go hijack another show? Go do some other thing? We're not talking about Delphi tonight. Thank you. Yeah, he was just really active. Yeah, it was like 5 weeks, 3 weeks, things like that. All right, now we're on to the next one is Roberta Kathleen Parks. And this is May 6th, 1974. And this one is in Oregon. So, co-ed at OSU. This is another college student at Oregon State University. So, I'll show you where that is. That's actually, I went to OSU. So here is the Oregon State campus. We'll just put a pin on here. Well, actually, hold on, let me add the new folder for this case. Put it under Bundy here. No, I already had Parks. Sorry. Right there. Oops. Shoot. Okay. Hold on. Okay. Alright, so Oregon State University. We've got, oh, and thank you, Nicole, for the PayPal there. Very generous. Thank you very much. Very, very cool. All right, so this one's in Oregon. and there's more. There was a lot more information on this one. So, co-ed at OSU said missing. So this is the first. She went missing on May 6th, and then on the 12th of May, this is the first article that I could find. Co-ed at OSU said missing. A 20-year-old freshman co-ed was reported missing from Oregon State University Saturday by university campus security. Roberta Kathleen Parks, 20, of Lafayette, California, an education major, was last seen at 11 p.m. Monday when she left her room in Sackett Hall. So let's go. That's still there, I'm pretty sure. I think it was there when I was there. Yep, right there. So this is Sackett Hall. It looks exactly the same, I guarantee it. That's it. Those are dormitories right there. So I was last seen at 11 p.m. Monday when she left her room at Sackett Hall to visit friends on campus. She is 5'7", 125 pounds, with waist-length blonde hair. She goes by Kathy. So again, she is blonde. This one has blonde hair. Huh? Hold on. Yeah. Co-ed missing. Now I think one of them was just 5 feet earlier. A 20-year-old co-ed at Oregon State University, Roberta Kathleen Kathy Parks, has been reported missing. Bill Harris, chief investigator for the OSU campus security, said that although authorities have to consider the possibility of foul play, there's no reason to assume that is what happened. When she was first reported missing, we considered that she may have left her for California, Harris said, but she still hasn't shown up at home. The girl was last seen at 11:03 p.m. Monday, May 6th, when she left her room in Sackett Hall, apparently headed for the Memorial Union. Okay, let's see where that is. No, it's not far away at all. I mean, isn't that crazy? Just right there. Doesn't even make it there. Just that little tiny walk right there. Let's see what that looks like. They're building something. Let me just see what go back to like 1994. Okay, so that was just a field, it looks like. This area. So there was nothing there. They started building something. And then I think probably if you... Yeah, see that? So back then it was just grass here. When she was first reported missing, we considered that she may have left for California. Okay, so she was heading to the Memorial Union. That, however, was the last time she was seen. Harris said she was told earlier in the day that her father had just suffered a heart attack. The father had not yet been told his daughter is missing. He said authorities have been notified to be on the lookout for the girl in Washington, Oregon, California. The FBI has also been notified, but would become involved only if a federal crime is connected with the incident. The missing girl is 5 feet 7, blonde, waist-length hair. Harris said the girl is a freshman in the OSU School of Education. And here's her picture right here. That's kind of like the classic look, you know, that parted in the middle. She doesn't look like it was completely blonde, though. You know, it's dark. Like a dark blonde or something. Alright. A $500 reward has been offered. This article's May 14th. Roberta Kathleen Parks, 20, of California, education major, was last seen about 11 p.m. May 6 when she left her dormitory room in Sackett Hall. When she was first reported missing, we considered that she may have left for California. Okay, so that's basically the same. Then we got 10 days later, this article. You know, this picture sucks because they squished her head. There's even the colored version online. And that's just not what her head looks like. They made it, the aspect ratio is really messed up on that shot right there. And, you know, her face isn't narrow like that. Family ups reward for lost OSU co-ed. The family of a missing Oregon State University co-ed has added another $1,000 to the reward for information leading to personal contact with the 20-year-old freshman. Roberta Kathleen Parks of Lafayette, California, has been missing since May 6 when she left her campus residence. The total reward offered by the family is $1,500. Parks is to be released from the hospital. That's the father. Saturday, a spokesman said. Bill Harris, chief of investigator for OSU campus security, asked that persons with information about Miss Parks notify local or state police or call OSU campus. Harris's office has received numerous telephone calls from persons who thought they had information about the missing student, but none has revealed new information. Although authorities have to consider the possibility of foul play, there is no reason to assume that is what happened. When she was first reported missing, we considered that she may have went to California. Yes, she had been told her dad had the heart attack. Right? The Federal Bureau of Investigation has been watching the case, Harris said. And they're probably also aware of the fact that there's 3 other missing college students at the time. The missing girl is 5 feet 7 inches tall and weighs 125 pounds. Because of his heart attack, the girl's father has not been notified of the disappearance until a week after he had entered the hospital. Okay. So then we're going to move to then July 4th, 1974. So now there's sort of like this, her head looks a lot different in that one, back to normal almost. Northwest lawmen unite to seek 5 lost co-eds. Well, thank you, Nicole Wilson. Oogla boogla. Oh, and you did it again. Well, thanks. Megazoid. Law enforcement officers met in Olympia Wednesday to discuss the similarities. See, now they're starting to go, hey, you know what? Something's going on here. Even though right after this we're going to go back in time again. Let's see. I'm trying to figure out if... no, I'll just read this one. Although we're only on number 4. So actually, I think I'm going to do these later because we're not at this time frame yet. It's kind of hard because you find articles that are of that person but after the fact. So we've got Roberta Kathleen Parks. The next one is Brenda Carol Ball, and this is her. There you go, parted in the middle. And she went missing on May 6th, 1974. Although the original articles that came out that I could find weren't until August. Because I think now they're starting to go, whoa, something's going on here. County police today are looking more closely at the disappearance of Brenda. See, they're looking more closely now at the disappearance of Brenda Carol Ball, 22, a Burrian, who has been missing since May 31st. Miss Ball, who lived at, we can put that in there. So here we go. Get her file name, folder name here. There we go. Wait, did I already have? Okay. And we're going to 2323 and a half. 2323 and a half. Southwest 172nd Street, and that's in where is this? Burrian, Washington. There you go. Look at that. It's so weird just seeing somebody's house. For me, strange. After all that, you know. People living in there now, I wonder if they're aware. Two, 323. I wonder if that's it back here. And that's like the garage. Or, well, I don't know. It's weird. It's interesting. Yeah, one of those. Miss Ball, who lived at 2323 1/2 Southwest 172nd Street last, was seen at the Flame Tavern. Let's see, guys. I wonder if that's still there. Okay, so let's see. 128th Street. Oh, 128th Street and... So now we can get it. There's a cross section here. Street and Okay. That's where she lived, and then apparently there's a tavern. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's it right there. At all. I mean, there are options here. How about we'll type in tavern near, and that's right there. Fiesta Del Mar Family Restaurant. So that's a tavern. So we'll just call that it. And that was called Flame Tavern. Bet it's not what? What are you talking about, Emily? Yeah. What are you talking about, Emily? Yeah. Yikes. Yeah, so that's going to be it. That was going to be the tavern right there. Yeah, so I bet you that's just been there for a long time. Yeah, it's not called Flame Tavern though. So I bet it's not. That'll work. Still there, Flame Tavern. Man. Are you like an expert in girl code? Because, man, I can't understand anything that you're typing in. It's amazing. Alright. Friends say they have not heard from her since May 31st. Miss Ball is described... Okay, so she was last seen... She had been living with other girls for about 2 weeks and had paid her share of rent in advance. Friends say they have not heard from her, so she wouldn't have paid for her rent in advance if she was going to be leaving willingly. I think the police are now taking another look at this because they've realized that there's these people that are missing. Friends say they have not heard from her since May 31st. Miss Ball is described as 5 feet 3 inches tall, 112 pounds, slim build, brown eyes, and light brown long hair. Police have been unable to get a good description of the clothes she was wearing when she was last seen. She was reported missing by her mother, Mrs. Mary Arnaud, on June 17th. Police have been working on this case since the initial report. However, they are taking a closer look at the case now in light of the fact that Miss Ball's physical description is very similar to that of 2 other young women who have been missing since July 14th. Okay, but we haven't even brought those people up yet. See, that's the thing. I mean, they just have so many people here. And then on the next day in the paper, 7th Seattle area woman missing. King County police have disclosed that a 7th woman, 22-year-old Brenda Carol Ball, has been reported missing. But she was missing since May, so she's not in the order that they processed it. Lieutenant Richard Kraske said the Marine woman was last seen June 1st. Miss Ball's mother, Miss Rosemary, looks like, I think it's supposed to be Arnaud, of Kent, filed a missing person report on June 17th. Kraske said that's 2 weeks. That's crazy. Said the case had not been made public because Miss Ball was known to be gone from home for a few days at a time. Okay, well, that was probably why then. And there seemed to be no link with 6 other women who have disappeared in the Northwest since January 31st. The only possible connection, Kraske said, is that Brenda's physical description was similar to that of 2 women who disappeared from Lake Sammamish State Park July 14th. City police said the other 4 missing women, like Miss Ball, in that each had long brown hair. Miss Ball is described... See how they're starting to put things together? It's so interesting to me. You know, they all had long brown hair. Miss Ball is described as being 5'3" and 112 pounds with slender build. Georgianne Hawkins, who disappeared from an alley behind her University of Washington sorority June 11th, was very similar to Miss Ball, city police said. Friends told police she had discussed going to Sun Lakes State Park in eastern Washington with one of the roommates. She was last seen just before closing time at a Seattle tavern. So we already have that tavern. Okay, so that was Brenda Carol Ball, who went missing. That was June 1st, 1974. Now the other one that they just mentioned, Georgianne Hawkins, and this is her right here. You'll see. There you go. The brown hair part in the middle. But it's interesting, isn't it, that they're talking about those similarities in the paper back then. Yeah, so so far, here's the dates. February 1st, March 12th, April 17th, May 6th, June 1st. But this one is June 11th, so now we're just 10 days later. UW co-ed 18 disappears on way to sorority house. So loud. My dogs are just... Alright. Police were seeking information today about an 18-year-old co-ed who disappeared early yesterday in the University District. Georgianne Hawkins of Lakewood, near Tacoma, last was seen after she left a friend's residence to return to the Kappa Alpha Theta sorority. So let's go to do that. So this is, let me get her folder in there. So we got this folder being built up now in order. And that sorority was located at 4521 17th Avenue Northeast. And this is where? Seattle, Washington? Yeah. And look at Linda Ann Healy's right there. Crazy, huh? That's the value of mapping. And this is Georgianne Hawkins, Kappa Alpha Theta. And so this is like the back of it right here. For some reason the Google Earth guy went driving down some alleys, you know. So that's probably right over there. Yep. Okay, so police were seeking information today about an 18-year-old co-ed who disappeared early yesterday in the University District. Georgianne Hawkins of Lakewood, near Tacoma, last was seen after she left a friend's residence to return to the Kappa Alpha Theta sorority. The friend said, okay, I gotta get this one now. The friend said she left via an alley. Oh, wow. Okay. An alley near 47th Street and 16th Avenue. So 47th and 16th Avenue. Should be close to here then, right? Oh yeah, here we go, right there. Oh boy, so that's the alley right there. That same alley we just were randomly on. That's exactly where it was, right here. Ah, she was gonna go through the back. Oh man, and you know that's where he probably was hanging out. So the friend said she left via an alley near Northeast 47th Street and 16th Avenue. She told him she was going back to the sorority to study for a final exam. Wow, that's nuts. So right here, maybe the guy just dropped her off and she goes, okay, I'll see you later. And she goes down that alley right there. And then she would have walked down the alley and came in behind her sorority, but based on, these other instances with Bundy, he's hiding around in those types of places, looking through windows. So I don't know if she ever made it to her. This is where she would have kept walking, right here. Nuts. Man, and it is kind of interesting how close it is to Linda Ann Healy. And Linda Ann Healy was the very first victim. I mean, that is what? That can't even be a mile. Yeah, it's half a mile as the crow flies there. Okay. Several acquaintances reported seeing and speaking with her as she walked back towards the sorority. Wow. But she never arrived, and friends became concerned. Man, he must have planned this stuff out so carefully. Several acquaintances reported seeing and speaking with her as she walked back towards the sorority. But she never arrived, and friends became concerned at about 3 a.m. when she failed to show up for final examination. Friends began telephoning friends and relatives, according to a sorority supervisor. Georgianne is an absolutely stable and dependable girl, the supervisor said. It would not be like her to leave without telling her roommate or her friends. Most of her friends are right here. Police said they were looking for any possible links between the disappearance of Miss Hawkins and the January 31st disappearance of Linda Ann Healy, 21, also a UW co-ed. Miss Healy disappeared from her basement room in a house at 5517 12th Avenue Northeast, and she shared with 3 other women. Blood was found in the room, and detectives suspect foul play. Miss Hawkins, a first-year University of Washington student, is 5'2", 120 pounds. She has shoulder-length brown hair. She was wearing a white backless t-shirt, a red, white, and blue blouse, blue slacks, and white sandals. She was described as having a good suntan. Persons who have information, call a number, but that number is no good. That was 1970. And it doesn't matter because... here we go. I'm going to move on to the next article. So that was June 12th. This is June 13th. And this is a really detailed... And it's interesting to go over this one. I could just see that it was going to be interesting. They even have a map right here. So let's see how close we are, just based on reading that other article. So co-ed chatted, then vanished. As the backyard of 3 sorority and 3 Greek fraternity houses on Greek Row at the University of Washington, the alley is alive with the sound of cars, conversation, laughter, and footsteps. The sounds of the alley continue long into the night and rise to the open windows, and through the night the alley is bathed in light. At 1 a.m. Tuesday, 18-year-old Georgianne Hawkins, co-ed, stood beneath a window at the north end of the alley talking with a friend. Okay, let's see what we got here. All right, so that's the, let's see. Yeah, that's the north end of the alley, right there, talking to a friend. She said goodnight and walked south in the alley. So exactly what we just showed you a second ago. Then Georgianne Hawkins vanished. Georgianne Hawkins is a 1973 honor graduate of Lakes High School in Lakewood, Pierce County. At the University of Washington, her home is the Kappa Alpha Theta sorority house. On the night she disappeared, Miss Hawkins had attended a party not far off Greek Row, accompanied by her roommate, Laura Heffron. She left the party early, explaining that she had intended to study for a Spanish final Tuesday. At the north end of Greek Row, the co-eds parted. Miss Hawkins entered the Beta Theta Pi fraternity house to say goodnight to her boyfriend, Marvin. Okay, let's see where that is. Is it still there? Beta Pi fraternity. Oh, right there. Yep. So that's exactly what you'd think. Yeah. So I mean, this is exactly what the article read. She's talking to somebody right here. Here's the entrance to the alley, and she didn't even make it to here on that little walk. So she went missing in this little tiny, from probably like right here to right there. Yeah, she went missing just right in that little space, right there. Huh. See, I had my Wendy's Baconator. Yeah, hey Kim, do you mind if we just go over the story? We're not trying, we just want to go over it like we're reading it for the first time, okay? Thanks. Okay, on the night she disappeared, Miss Hawkins had attended a party at the north end of Greek Row. The co-eds parted. Miss Hawkins entered the Beta Theta Pi fraternity house to say goodnight to her boyfriend, Marvin Galatly. 30 minutes after she walked out of the back door into the alley and paused for a brief conversation with a friend, another person, Dwayne Covey, 20, who was leaning from his window on the second, God, it's even closer, floor of the Beta house. Okay, so she's, yeah, right here walking, and then here's the Beta house. He is, let's see, the second floor, so he's just leaning out one of these three windows right here and talking to her. So she actually made it to there. I'm going to move that further. So it's probably more like in that area. Yeah, yeah. Man, you guys aren't gonna let this be a show where we're just listening to how it is back then, right? You're just gonna keep bringing up all the stuff that you guys have learned about him over the years. I don't want to be doing that. Okay, just kind of keep it to yourself, because then it just sort of takes away from the narrative that we're trying to go back in time, look at it as it was happening. It's weird I have to always repeat that every single time. It's like, God. Are you sending me on vacation? Do I even deserve a vacation? I would think I did. 161. Okay, maybe I need one. Ah, thank God. Man, it's just mind-boggling. It's time. Anyways, I find this stuff interesting. Oh, I wonder what that X is right there. Maybe Beta Theta Pi. Oh, yeah. So there it is. He was actually talking to the person in the backyard right there. Do you see that? Wow. Okay. So it was more like right here. Crazy. See that? And it's not actually that even the window on the end they have right there. It's insane. Thanks, Nicole Wilson. Hey, Miss Medicare, I just explained why. I've told you this 1,000 times. Okay? If I'm doing it a certain way where we're just going back in time, I don't want you going ahead talking about how he was later and stuff. Let's just kind of think about, like, what's going on here, okay? Thanks, Nicole Wilson.
Thanks, Gray. This is very
if you
interesting.
keep doing the back talk,
I love
Medicare,
it.
you're going to be out of here, okay? I just explained it to you 57,000 times. Yeah. Thank you. Da, da, da. Yes, I did. I did shoot a 72 today. Gotta be happy with that. 15 pars, 2 bogeys, and an eagle. How do you like that? Actually, wait, hold on. That doesn't make sense. Maybe it was 14 pars, 3 bogeys, and an eagle. There you go. Da, 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 da. Yeah, it shouldn't really be that confusing at all. Yeah. Da, 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 da. Thank you, Kacha T. Anyways, I just thought it was weird. Wouldn't you think it was weird if you literally had to sit on a chair basically for 3 weeks to let your toe, get better, and your whole foot really. And then just when it feels like you can put a shoe on, you go out and shoot your second best score of your life. That doesn't make any sense, does it? No, I'm not I used to do a handicap, but it's probably like a 7 or so. Maybe 6. Oh, you got a hole in 1. Nice. Now, we're just reading the case. I mean, I've told you guys that these are all the verified Ted Bundy people, but we're just going back in time to see how it was and how people were perceiving it. So we don't want to go way forward and talk about, the prison breaks and all that crap, because we're not talking about that yet. Does that make sense to everybody? Or? Yeah, maybe. I don't know, Mark. I don't know what happened. I actually could have shot better. I mean, that was like the worst. It was really weird. It was, other than making that last eagle, everything was 2 putts and just. Oh yeah, and by the way, on one of the par 5, let me explain it to you guys this. See, like that's a hole in a cup, right? I had a putt that went just like this. I mean, it was for birdie, and it was like 5 inches away. The ball was right here, and then it just went. Like it must have hit like a pebble or something. I mean, it was literally in the absolute center, and everyone was like, "What the hell happened right there? What was that?" So could have been better. I don't get it. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah. It was a remote control ball. I don't know. Maybe it was. Somebody was. It was really weird, really strange. I mean, literally. I mean, 4 inches from the hole. It's right in the middle, on a straight line, and then it just shot hard left. Almost like when they put. You know what they do? You guys have seen it, right? They put these, like this thing in the ground, and they pull out the piece of dirt and then put the cup in there. Sometimes when they pull it out, it makes a little bit of a ridge, a raised piece of ground around there. I don't know. It was just really weird. I've never seen that before. All right, you guys. Well, this is my vacation time is where you guys can help buy drinks and help support the channel, because right now we're getting close to the halfway point of the month. Doing pretty well here, on a good track. Just try to keep it going. You guys help support the channel and the charities. So far we're at 30,500 this year, with 4 months to go, by the way. Then we've got last year was 22,000, so that makes it 52,500 since 2 months before the pandemic started. I mean, it was incredible last year to bring in $22,000 to charity during the pandemic. I mean, that was unbelievable. Caddyshack emoji, huh? Yeah, so I don't mind people talking about, like, the case, but let's talk about what we've just read. You know, not what your other knowledge is and then combining it to it. Yeah, it's all you guys, really. I mean, thanks Sooner History and Nicole Wilson. Oh, there it is. Okay. Oh, wow. Thank you to Susie Heath, Timothy Cecil. Hey, have you heard of the case where the German pilot locked the... Yeah. Yep, we talked about that a little bit yesterday, actually. Yeah. Yeah, he was just... The sad part about that is there's people that videotaped it. Thanks, Katya. Yeah,
Hey,
somebody
have you heard of
videotaped
that
the whole
case where
thing.
this
Yeah,
German pilot
they were
locked
saying
the main
goodbye.
pilot out of the cockpit, and he was breathing normal while the pilot crashed into the mountain. It was pretty sick.
Yeah, it was like some German guy right into the side of a mountain, stone, rock. I think it just means he was like calm. Yep, I remember that. Very crazy. Thank you, Katya T, Susie, Timothy, Cecil. Yeah, we brought that up yesterday during 9/11. Either yesterday or the day before. But anyways, I'll be back in just a second. I mean, use the facilities. All right. Okay. Hey, thanks you, Jiggy, England. All right. Anyways, I'm gonna get out of here. Hold on a second. Yeah.
They're coming to take me away.
Did you hear what I said?
Yeah, I did. I heard what you said. All right, you guys, thanks for putting me on vacation for a little bit. Okay, so look at that. It's even smaller if you look at the map that they gave us. The distance here. Because look at the little X they're putting on the Beta Theta Pi house. I think the X, let's see, about 100 yards of alley separate the Beta Theta Pi house from the Georgianne Hawkins was seen by a friend, and her destination, the Kappa Alpha Theta house. And why do they have this alley? Yeah, so it was an alley. Theta Chi, that's crazy. I've been there, that fraternity. I was a Theta Chi at University of Oregon. Not something I'm proud of or anything, but let's see. I actually left there and just went back to I didn't even like being in a fraternity. Beta Theta Pi, Alpha Chi Omega, Theta Chi, right there. Wow. So they were just right two down from Theta Chi right there. And it's interesting because right here they put the X. I wonder if they explain where that... Let's see up here. 30 minutes later, she walked out the back door into the alley and paused for a brief conversation. I think that's what this is right here. With a friend, Dwayne Covey, 20, who was leaning from his window on the second floor. So right there, and I think that's right there. He's just leaning from that window right there. Covey recalled the brief conversation. I heard a door slam beneath me and looked out the window. I said, "Hey, George, what's going on?" She told me she was... Oh, that's her nickname, obviously, then. Because her name is Georgianne Hawkins. Let's see. What's going on? She told me she was going home to study for a Spanish final on Tuesday. She made it explicit that she intended to study. We talked for 5 minutes, maybe, George said. George said adios and walked away. Covey recalls that during the conversation, Miss Hawkins glanced down the alley several times at the sound of distant laughter. But police have been unable to locate anyone who saw the brown-haired co-ed walking towards her sorority house. And what compounds the mystery is that Georgianne Hawkins had less than 300 feet to walk. The doors to the Kappa Alpha Theta sorority are locked at midnight. Because Miss Hawkins had lost her key, she would have awakened her roommate by tossing pebbles against their second floor window. Laura Heffron never was awakened. That doesn't mean she didn't throw it, you just might not have been awakened. Police feel that the mystery has ominous parallels to the January disappearance of Linda Healy, a 21-year-old UW co-ed who lived with 4 other young women. Miss Healy disappeared from her home similarly without a sound being heard. Blood spots were found on her bed. After talking with the people who knew her, police find it difficult to think that Miss Hawkins planned anything other than returning to home to study. With a 3.5 grade average, Georgianne Hawkins applied herself seriously to her studies. At the Kappa Alpha Theta house, she was characterized as a mature young woman who was full of life. Georgianne Hawkins was head cheerleader in her senior year in high school. She was a princess in the Puyallup Daffodil Festival the same year. In Lakewood, Warren Edith Hawkins waited by the telephone for word their youngest daughter's fate. This is Dwayne Covey here and Marvin Galati right there. It doesn't look very good, the father said. And this is her right here again. Okay, and then this next set is from July 1974. So it's 1974, July 14th, and it's two women disappeared on the same night from the same park. I don't know if they knew each other though, which is kind of strange. But I say 2 women missing. Search starts in park. County police and park rangers today began searching Lake Sammamish State Park. So let's go to that one. I'm going to put this folder in here. I combined them together, even though they're 2 different scenarios. They're spoken about on the same day. And we're going to the Sammamish State Park. That's right. I think there's even a map that pops up here pretty soon. Okay. So county police and park rangers today began searching Lake Sammamish State Park for 2 women reported missing since Sunday. They are Denise Marie Naslund, 19, of 4522 Southwest Graham Street. Here, I'll put these in there. 4522 Southwest Graham Street. So it's probably not far from here, I would imagine. That's pretty far away. This is Naslund. Then we've got 75 Front Street. Oh, there it was. South Issaquah, Washington. Wow, they don't live anywhere near each other. And that's Ott. Okay. So that's closer to that park. Alright, so police said Miss Naslund had been with a group of friends at the lake near Issaquah Creek when she went to a laboratory at 4 p.m. She never returned, leaving behind her purse, bathing suit, and car. Wow. So she was just abducted right there. I mean, unbelievable. Miss Ott apparently left home to go sunbathing at the lake at about 10 a.m., police said. She left a note in the door for her roommate. Miss Ott, who's divorced, is employed at the King County Youth Service Center in Seattle. Miss Naslin is described as slender at about 5 feet 4, 110 pounds, with brown eyes and light-colored hair. She was wearing cut-off shorts, a dark blue halter top, and brown sandals. She is a secretary who works for various firms through Dean's Tops Incorporated, a temporary help firm. All right, let me show you what they look like. This is that's Naslin right here. Denise Marie Naslin. Hey, I can say Denise. It's amazing. And this is Janice Ann Ott right there. Police said Mrs. Ott was riding a yellow 10-speed bicycle and carrying a blue knapsack. She was wearing cut-off jeans and a white pullover, blue and white deck shoes, and possibly blue bikini under the outer clothing. She is described as 5 feet 100 pounds with blonde hair and green eyes. Explorer search and rescue personnel were to join in the search of the 300-acre park. Alright, so she went missing on July 14th. That article was July 16th. This is July 17th. Right here. Coming up. Divers seek 2 women. Divers searched in the Lake Sammamish today, and a ground search was enlarged for 2 young women who disappeared Sunday from Lake Sammamish State Park. Denise Marie Naslin, 18, and Mrs. Janice Ann Ott, 23, were among the more than 40,000 persons who jammed the park Sunday. Wow. The women did not know each other. A day-long search yesterday by almost 100 volunteers turned up no clues. Both Miss Naslin of Seattle and Miss Ott of Issaquah, Washington, have close ties to relatives and friends, and there appear to be no reason for either not to have made some contact since Sunday if they were able to, police said. County police said today that 2 witnesses have placed Mrs. Ott in the park at about 11:30 a.m. Sunday, the witness said. She left with a young man, details, page 1. Oh, there must be another page. Didn't see that one. Earlier, it had not been certain that she ever reached the park. County officials, in cooperation with the Issaquah Police Department, were coordinating the search over the 400-acre park. Miss Naslin, who was with her boyfriend and another... Listen how crazy this one is. So, Miss Naslin, who was with her boyfriend and another couple at the park, disappeared after she apparently went to a restroom shortly after 4 p.m. She lives at 4522 Southwest Graham Street. Ken Little, the boyfriend, said he and Miss Naslin were asleep on the beach for a time before she left to walk to the restroom building. When she failed to return, he and the couple looked for her, thinking she had gone to search for her dog. We found the dog, but there was no sign of Denise. Little said yesterday at the search site, that's what he said yesterday at the search. We walked all over the park for more than an hour, for more than 4 hours, he said. The slender brunette, who worked part-time as a secretary for various firms through Dean's Tops Incorporated, left her car, purse, and bathing suit behind. She would have contacted somebody by now if she just walked off for some reason. She was happy. We have been together for 9 months, Little said. Alright, let's see. Robert Naslin, the woman's father, and Brock Naslin, her brother, were at search headquarters. She had been out on her own for some time. There's no reason for her to run off. He recalled that over the July 4th holiday, she and Little, along with Brock, borrowed his camper and spent the long weekend together. Denise was happy about that. They had fun, he said. Miss Ott and a friend, who also works at the Youth Service Center, live in a small house at 75 Front Street in Issaquah. Mrs. Ott has a basement apartment. Ew, yeah, that wasn't where she was abducted from, but wow, that's kind of strange. And Betty Stover lives on the main floor. Miss Ott called her friend at work about 10 a.m. Sunday and asked if she could borrow a knapsack. Then she left a note on the door saying she was going to the park to sunbathe. She sketched the sun on the note. Miss Ott apparently set off on her yellow 10-speed bike to the park. Miss Stover told Ron Procyse, of Issaquah Police Chief, that Miss Ott was very outgoing and friendly. She always let someone know where she was going, particularly if she would change plans. Procyse was told, let's see, well, that's what he was told, sorry. It's hard to tell when a sentence ends here. During 18 months at the Youth Service Center, she was never late for work. The basement apartment was checked and everything was in order. Miss Ott is a daughter of Dr. and Mrs. Donald E. Blackburn of Spokane. County police were incorrectly informed yesterday that Miss Ott is divorced. Later it was learned that her husband James is attending medical school. So apparently she's married. Alright. And then there's an article from on the 18th. Police seek Ted. See? Boom. Isn't that crazy, everybody? Look at that. Now they've got a name here on the July 18th. Pretty crazy, right? Good night, D&K Reck. Hey, don't forget to buy those boxes, everybody. Look at, check it out. See, D&K Reck, they make these cool boxes right here. And there's all kinds of, like, inside stuff going on. You know? Oogla boogla. Be safe out there. All kinds of stuff, right? And, you know, I don't know if they want to put their email anymore in the chat, because, you know, you get the trolls out there. Why am I in jail? What happened? What happened? I'm not in jail. What are you talking about? Yeah, it's wooden. Kind of like a light type of wood. I mean, there's even stuff like inside the box, you know. It's crazy. Oh, there's that one, and then they also made this one. It's a really rare version. It's this one that says Hostley, Hughes Hostley Zone. Of course, they did fix it, and now we've got the... I mean, I like the Hostley Zone one better, but this one says Hughes Hostel Zone, okay? Because you've entered the hostile zone. All right. All right, I'm going to get back to this now. So here we go. Now the police are looking. I want to see how they came up with this. The mysterious Ted being sought in connection with the disappearance of Miss Janice Ott tried to get acquainted with at least 2 other women at Lake Sammamish State Park Sunday. He may drive, listen to this, he may drive a Volkswagen Beetle painted an unusual shade of dark metallic brown. Well, they have this guy. I mean, that's exactly what he had. These additional clues surfaced today as county police were flooded with calls in response to publicity about the search for Miss Ott, 23, and Denise M. Naslin, 18. Both women, who did not know each other, disappeared from the jam-packed park Sunday. Mrs. Ott between 11:30 and 12:30. So this part right here is a little bit like Schnee Oberholzer. You know, you got one, come back, get another. Miss Naslund has been reported seen in a park restroom chatting with a woman and then leaving the restroom. So, wow, she actually was in the restroom, then leaves the restroom. She never returned to her boyfriend and other friends on the beach. I mean, how does that even happen? God. I wonder where the restrooms were. And there's not really a beach. Maybe it was over here. Actually, there's a map in a little bit here that I saw when I was saving these out. Miss Naslund had been reported seen at the park restroom. Two young women told today of being approached separately by a young man with his left arm in a cast and a sling. He asked them to go with him to help load a sailboat on top of his car. Both turned him down. Wow, I wonder why they turned him down. They must have had the spider senses on, because he was pretty charming and sort of looked pretty normal, right? You know? Let's see. Oh yeah. Yesterday, two other women reported witnessing such an approach to a woman matching the description of Miss Ott. The woman left with the man, who appeared to be in his 20s, and called himself Ted. I wonder how they got that, man. Other witnesses told of seeing Mrs. Ott push her bicycle from the beach area towards the brown Volkswagen that seemed to be Ted's. The man was described as about 5'6" to 5'7", and about 160 pounds, with rather long blondish hair parted in the middle. He wore expensive-looking white tennis shoes, shorts, and t-shirt. He had a small English accent. Man, he would do all that shit. He told Mrs. Ott that his parents lived in Issaquah, and that was where the sailboat was. About 40,000 persons were at the park Sunday. Two large company picnics were taking place, and police are seeking Wow, that must be a really large company to have 40,000 people. Police were bringing in witnesses in the Ott case in an attempt to put together a composite picture of Ted. Yesterday, police viewed television film taken at the park Sunday. Police also were viewing numerous photographs taken at one of the company picnics. A search of the park has been suspended until detectives can provide a lead. About 6 square miles around the south end of the lake were covered by some 200 volunteers on foot and horseback. 8 divers searched the south end of the lake at that time. Man. I almost feel like I gotta go back now. Hold on a second. This is the... Alright, we're gonna type in, I gotta look, now I gotta go back in time and look this up. That second page. So that would have been Denise Marie Naslund. Can I spell that right? Yeah. 1974 in Washington. Alright. And this article is on the... Okay, this one's on the 18th. I gotta get to that. There's a second page. I gotta go find it. No, that's not it. To the 18th. 17. First. This might be it. I'm just looking at this other genealogy bank website here. Okay, yeah, so the D8. Ah, cool, they do let you do that. Awesome. I'm just gonna type in 8 and see if that's good. Yep, that's page 8. Fun. No. Sorry, I gotta find something here. Yeah, they really need to find that ticket. Thanks, Amber. Oh, it says related article on A2 and B8. Okay, so what's on A2? No? Don't know. Not sure what they're talking about there. So, anyways, I'm just gonna skip out of here. Give it a shot. Give it a shot. Alright, I'm gonna go to another article on the 18th. Pattern of 6 vanishing women unique. Washington's 6 cases of vanishing women appear to be a unique pattern, a canvass of major police departments indicates. Detectives with departments from Los Angeles to Kansas City and Boston were queried. We have our everyday runaways like every other department, said a Kansas City detective, but nothing other than the usual teenagers and the angry housewives. Police learned to recognize the typical runaway. Women are likely to take at least some clothing and cosmetics, but such elements have not been found in the cases of several women who have vanished since January. I think they're actually talking about the exact 6 people that we've talked about. Sounds a little like a case we had a year and a half ago, said Boston officer. We had 7 women disappear, except all the bodies showed up within a month. The man we think was responsible goes on trial next week. Probably the Boston Strangler, maybe? I don't know. A Denver police detective listened to a summary of the Northwest cases and said simply, "You folks have a problem." Denver handles dozens of missing persons cases every week, he added, but none involving circumstances matching the local cases. Well, that's interesting, right? Because like I told you earlier, he goes to Colorado at a certain point. You sort of wonder if he was taunting these people because they said, well, we don't have that problem over here. There's always some kind of clue, he said. When they take personal belongings with them, it's a clear example of a runaway. A San Francisco detective said, but when they leave everything behind, I mean, how many times have we seen this, right? How many times have we seen this? But when they leave everything behind, you have to go to the situation a lot deeper. Let's see. And we always see these cases where, they leave the wallet, cash, all kinds of stuff at home, and at that point you already know that it's a, they didn't run away. It never happens that way. When they take personal belongings with them, it's a clear example of a runaway. But when they leave everything behind, you have to go into the situation a lot deeper. I've never run into anything like that, a sergeant in the Phoenix Police Missing Persons Unit said. He said it sounded like some macabre slave trade business. Sounds to me like you're dealing with a real nut, he added. The investigative emphasis here today continued to be on the disappearance of Denise Marie Naslin, 18, and Janice Ann Ott, 23. Both women were reportedly last seen Sunday at Lake Sammamish State Park. Prior disappearances in Washington include Linda Ann Healy, 21, a University of Washington senior. Let's see. So they're going through the same ones that we've already talked about. Linda Ann Healy, 21, a University of Washington senior, who vanished the night of January 31st from a house she shared with 4 other women. Donna Gail Manson, 19, a freshman at Evergreen State College near Olympia. She was last reported seen at 7 p.m. March 12th when she left her dormitory room heading for a jazz concert on campus. Susan Elaine Rancourt, 18, a freshman at Central Washington State College, Ellensburg. She left a meeting on campus at 9:30 p.m. April 17th and was last seen reported seen walking towards her dormitory. Georgianne Hawkins, 18, a University of Washington freshman, last reported seen at 1 a.m. June 11th, walking south in an alley towards the Kappa Alpha Theta sorority house at 4521 17th Avenue. Isn't that crazy? Like now they've got them all dialed in and connected. Authorities have considered the possibility of abduction in the disappearance of a 20-year-old freshman at Oregon State University in Corvallis in May, Roberta Kathleen Parks. So now they've got all 7 of them. And it's crazy, right? I mean, that's not even in the same state or anything. Roberta Kathleen Parks, Lafayette, California, was last reported seen at 11 p.m. May 6, walking near the OSU Student Union building. Although her personal effects, including cosmetics and a 10-speed bicycle, were left behind, OSU security officers say that personal problems in the young woman's life appear to make foul play less than a distinct possibility. Okay. I thought this was interesting that this was in the paper right next to it. I wonder if this is Bundy here, you know? A 23-year-old Seattle Pacific College co-ed told police she was raped by an intruder in her dormitory room at 2:30 a.m. yesterday. The woman reported to police that she was awakened by a man who pulled a pillowcase over her head and threatened to cut her throat if she screamed. After gagging her, the assailant took about $3, her purse, and raped her and fled, she said. I don't know if that's related, but yeah, it's pretty crazy, right? Like right in the same article right down there. Alright, and then we've got... This is... Look how amazing that picture is in the newspaper back then. Very easy to see. It looks like absolutely the same right now. Hasn't changed at all. Look at that. I mean, are you kidding me? Since 1974, it looks... Every single aspect of the beach, the... You know, the parking areas or whatever you call that. I mean, it's just unbelievable. Hasn't changed at all. That's pretty incredible from after 46 years. But this actually shows where Ott was. So Ott apparently was, based on that map, pretty much like right here. And then Naslund was right over here, apparently. Right in here. I wonder if that's where the restrooms are. And then they're saying that the car, let me see what they're saying in the, down here. Circles mark where Janice Ott and Denise M. Naslin last were reported seen. Okay. A week ago today, another circle marks where a bronze Volkswagen. Wow, that's crazy. They actually have the... So the Volkswagen was basically like right in this area. Right here on the curve in that parking area. Look at that. Isn't that nuts? Gets Ott, then Naslin, probably pulled back in the same spot. When she was last seen at 11:30 a.m., Miss Naslin, 18, of White Center, apparently alone, was leaving a restroom when she was seen at 4:30 p.m. About 60 Explorer Scouts aided authorities yesterday in a search of the wooded areas surrounding the park. That's just, don't you think it's amazing how similar it looks? After 45 years, it doesn't even have anything different. Wonder if they... Okay, they did get the street view to right here. So look at that. You know, he was parked in the... Hold on. So looking at that, he was in the third row. So if I'm right here, it'd be 1, 2, you can see it right over there. Like you could probably even see his car if you were right here. He was just parked right in there somewhere. Right on that curve. That's just a park. What do you mean campground? Yeah, it's just right there. So that's apparently where the brown Volkswagen was. Naslin, there must be a bathroom over there, I would imagine. Let's see. God, how would he do that though? How would he get her with all those people to his Volkswagen Bug? Right here. Especially Naslin. I mean, she... Doesn't make any sense. Family offers reward for second missing woman. Rewards now have been offered for both women whom disappeared from the Lake Sammamish State Park July 14th. On Monday, the parents of Miss Janice A. Ott, 23, of Issaquah, offered the same amount for information, so $1,000 is offered for both. Wait, let's see. It says, on Monday, the parents of Miss Janice Ott, 23, of Issaquah, offered the same amount for information relating to their daughter and Dr. and Mrs. D.E. Blackburn of Spokane also offered a $150 reward for the return or information leading to the return of their daughter's bicycle. So he must have told them, hey, you know, you need to help me, and then she puts her bike on top of his car or something. It's really weird. Police want to determine where the bicycle was found and when and what condition it was in. There will be no action taken against anyone returning the bicycle. Miss Naslin was at the park with her boyfriend and another couple. She wouldn't have... See, that's the thing, is how did she trick her? Isn't that really strange to you guys? Like, how did he trick her to... I guess he could have done something with her and left her body in the woods back here or something. Maybe he took her across this, waited for a moment, forced her across in here at knife point, and then put her body back in there, and then later went and collected the body. Very weird. Miss Naslin was at the park with her boyfriend and another couple. She went to a restroom but never returned. Earlier that day, Miss Ott was seen at the beach talking to a man who called himself Ted. He and Mrs. Ott, who was pushing her yellow 10-speed bicycle, walked towards the parking lot, and a Volkswagen painted an unusual bronze color, witnesses told police. Meanwhile, yesterday, one of at least two other women who were approached by Ted that day submitted to questioning under hypnosis at her request. The results, however, were negative, police said. The women told precisely the same story under hypnosis that she told police earlier. It was hoped she would shed more light on who Ted is and his car. Yesterday afternoon, police using leads from infrared aerial photographs of the park area went to several spots which appeared to, in the photos, to have been disturbed. Nothing was found. The infrared photos show where foliage has been disturbed or earth overturned. Interesting. Well, looks like it's Lynette Burns' birthday. Mary Lou, you're going to have to sing happy birthday, okay?
Oh God, I was asleep, Gray.
Wow, can you just add some brightness to the show tonight, Mary Lou?
Okay, Gray, go. Happy birthday to Lynette Burns. Happy birthday to Lynette Burns. Happy birthday to Lynette Burns. Happy birthday to you.
And many more.
Hey, thanks, John Boy. I kind of lost it there at the end.
Yeah, you sure did, Mary Lou, but thank you anyways. Thank you so much. Oh boy. Wow. Yep, then we've got another one on... So those are July 16th, 17th, 18th, 21, 24th. Now August 8th. So like 2 weeks later. A University of Washington co-ed had an encounter. Listen to this. Listen to this one. I think this is one of the witnesses here. Look at a University of Washington co-ed had an encounter with a man whose leg was in a cast just 30 minutes before the mysterious June 11th disappearance of Georgianne Hawkins. That's the one that was at the fraternity. Remember? The Kappa Alpha Theta, and then she was talking at the fraternity. Pretty crazy. Okay, I'll wait for you guys to come back. Yeah. So this is what's crazy is that now they're saying that he had like a broken leg, a fake broken leg in that alley. So what was he probably like, hey ma'am, can you help me? And then he just, right at the last second, strangles, does whatever he does and puts her in the car. I mean, it's just crazy. So University of Washington co-ed had an encounter with a man whose leg was in a cast just 30 minutes before the mysterious June 11th disappearance of Georgianne Hawkins, it was reported yesterday. The 19-year-old co-ed told the Times today that a young man she helped across the street at 12:30 a.m. Wow. June 11th matched the description of the Ted being sought in the July 14th disappearance of two young women from Lake Sammamish State Park. Oh boy. The co-ed report is the first clue to provide a possible link between the Lake Sammamish mystery and the disappearance of Miss Hawkins and another University of Washington co-ed, Linda Ann Healy, who vanished from her university district home on the night of January 31st. Homicide Captain Herb Swindler said he first learned of the development yesterday. The Times found out today, however, that the co-ed reported her encounter with the apparently disabled man to the homicide unit a week ago. Her report apparently fell on deaf ears. I dialed 911, the co-ed recalled. A woman transferred me to the sergeant, and he said he was transferring the call to homicide. I gave the story to another officer. I guess he was in homicide, and he told me, "We'll call you if we need any more information." What an idiot. Jeez, these people. Swindler said that the co-ed report is not on file. I'm trying to find out who took the call, he said. I don't know what happened, but you can quote me as saying that I'm very upset about this. The co-ed, who was living in the Chi Omega sorority house. Okay, wow. So let's see where she lived. Hold on. And actually, we have that map from earlier. I'll just type it in. Okay, it's right here. Right in the same area. He was probably just looking around, just waiting for somebody to slip through the cracks, using his ruse, you know. Her report apparently fell on deaf ears. I'm trying to find out the co-ed who was living in the Chi Omega sorority house. Well, we got the address. Let me just make sure I got, if it hasn't changed. 4549 18th Avenue. Yeah, that's it. Okay, right there. Said that Ted looked a lot. Hold on a second. The co-ed who was living in Chi Omega sorority house at 4549 18th Avenue Northeast said that the Ted look-alike she encountered was crossing the intersection of Northeast 47th Street. Oh, wow. So, wow, we can get this whole thing. 47th and 17th. And I bet you that's right on that alley, just in my mind. I'm thinking, oh, God, yeah, it was right there. So this is where he was crossing. So he probably, oh, man, this is... Oh man, that's just insane. She lives right there, but then saw him walking here apparently through this intersection, and look, then it goes right through that alley there. She encountered was crossing the intersection of Northeast 47th Street and 17th Avenue Northeast on crutches. His left leg was in a cast, she said, and he appeared to be having trouble getting across the street. Are you guys finding this interesting? I noticed that none of the comments are related yet again. He was carrying a briefcase and kept dropping it about every other step. Oh, wow. Yeah, see, he's got his cast. He keeps dropping the suitcase like he just can't make it. He needs help from somebody. He was carrying a briefcase and he kept dropping it about every other step. I thought, gee, hey, that sounds like Mary Lou. Gee,
Gee!
he must really be having problems, and so I offered to help. They were walking in opposite directions. The co-ed said she carried the man's briefcase to the southeast corner of the intersection. So that would have been right here. Okay, so that's the southeast corner. His left leg was in a cast, she said, and he appeared to be having trouble getting across the street. He was carrying a briefcase and kept dropping it about every other step. I thought, gee, he must really be having problems, and so I offered to help. They were walking in opposite directions. The co-ed said she carried the man's briefcase to the southeast corner of the intersection and then crossed back to the Phi Gamma Delta fraternity house on the southwest corner. All right, hold on. Fiji, man, they're all still there, huh? Huh. That's Phi Delta. Why would you do that? Hold on. How does that work? They were walking in opposite directions, the co-ed said. She carried the man's briefcase to the southeast corner of the intersection and then crossed back to the Phi Gamma Delta fraternity house on the southwest corner. I wonder if it used to be right here. Like right, well no, that's there. That's Beta Theta Pi. I don't know. That doesn't make a lot of sense, what she's saying. Unless she's saying that he walked there, because then that's right next to... Okay, they were walking Phi Gamma Delta fraternity house on the southwest corner. The man on crutches smiled a lot and said few words, the co-ed recalled, before leaving him on the corner. The woman offered to help further if he was still there when she returned. The co-ed said she stayed in the fraternity house for more than an hour. The man was gone when she returned. It was 1 a.m. when Miss Hawkins vanished from an alley, so wow, it's right in the middle of that time. He was just hunting. The man being sought in the Lake Sammamish disappearance of Janice Ann Ott, 23, and Denise Marie Naslin, 18, had his arm in a sling and is known to have asked at least 5 women for help in loading a sailboat on top of his car. He called himself Ted. He was seen walking. I bet you anything, Ott put her bike on the roof of his vehicle, and he said, can you help me out with my, I gotta get a sailboat, whatever the hell it was. She put her bike on the top of his car to go help him, and he said, I'll just give you, a ride back here later or something like that. And that's why her bike's missing. He was seen walking towards the parking lot with Miss Ott at 12:30 p.m. and placed back in the park later in the afternoon. So he killed Ott, then came back, or stored her somewhere, whatever the hell he does, I don't know. A possible link between Ted and other missing women in Washington State came to light 2 weeks after the Lake Sammamish case with a report from Ellensburg. Susan Elaine Rancourt, 18, vanished from the campus at Central Washington State College. The first reported encounter was on the same night Miss Rancourt vanished. The second was 4 days later. Let's see. Susan Elaine Rancourt, 18, vanished from the campus at Central Washington State College in Ellensburg on the night of April 17th. It was learned recently that a young man with an arm in a sling, oh my god, I didn't even know that, approached 2 college co-eds there requesting help in carrying packages or books to his car. The first reported encounter was on the same night Miss Rancourt vanished. The second was 4 days later. Wow, so he was using the same technique. MO. That's his MO. You know, they were actually talking about, some people thought it was the Zodiac killer. Alright, and then there's another article on November 25th. Well, hold on a second. This is my list that I'm using here, so. And here's the thing, is I think the heat was on him in Washington. He was reading the newspaper, and they knew that they were Ted, his vehicle and everything. So then he took off. Those Ott and Naslin, those were the last 2 in Washington. And then he just took off and reappears in Utah, and that's where we'll pick it up next time. Alright? But hopefully you guys think that that's interesting, right? It's kind of cool because you can see how they were tracking him. They right now they don't know who he is yet. You know, a guy named Ted. And then he really messed. There's actually been a bunch of survivors. And that's what led to his demise, I think. Alright. Well, sorry for all my, if I was grumpy earlier or whatever, but, it's just, the worst thing in the world is when you spend a lot of time getting ready for a show and putting it together, and then you see people don't want you to do it or don't want to watch. It's not a good feeling. Yeah, I know. I appreciate it. And here's one of the newspaper articles where they started putting their faces together. Linda Ann Healy, Donna Gail Manson, Susan Elaine Rancourt, George Ann Hawkins. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, there's all kinds of lists out there with all their pictures on it. I don't know, it's hard to make a chart on this one. Because, they're all there. It's not like you're figuring something out. Yeah, so we're going through, here's the list I'll show you right here. I'm going through this list right here of his known confirmed victims. I'm not going to do the ones that aren't. Maybe later. So we just did these right here. This one's a survived person. I couldn't find her. But Linda Ann Healy, Donna Gail Manson, Susan Elaine Rancourt, Roberta Kathleen Parks, Brenda Carol Ball, George Ann Hawkins, Denise Marie Naslin, and Janice Ann Ott. Now look at that, July 14th, and you can see in the paper his name Ted shows up, right? So then he got the hell out of there, and he went to Utah, and he starts up again in October. Okay? With Nancy Wilcox, and that's where we'll start next. And I think, around this time is where, they're really starting to track him down, and, they now can firmly link these murders with the ruse of being injured, and now they've got even the Volkswagen Bug. Pretty crazy, pretty crazy. Yeah. All right. Well, anyways, you guys, I really appreciate you guys spending time on here with me today. It's pretty slow super chat night. I guess if I was talking about summer wells, it would have been pretty good. We just got that one really big one that helped out a lot. So thank you. Let's see. I just need to put summer wells in the title, I think. I won't do it. I will not cave to the summer wells phenomenon. Awesome. Yeah, well, I think it's pretty cool. We're gonna have to I think maybe, you know, next Sunday we'll go on to the next victims. All right, it's gonna be serial killer Sundays. All right, now I'm actually excited to do it because I've wanted to look into various killings. Now we might actually end up, maybe we'll do Israel Keys at some point, and then we'll get Cairo on here because he's really into Israel Keys. That's like his favorite. He knows everything about it. He's got all these documents and shit. But we'll see. Maybe that'll be like later because it seems like it would take forever to get through that one. Awesome. Yeah, I just think it's a different way to look at it, right? Because everybody always has the canned, okay, well, he took this person, brought her over here. Well, this is kind of interesting where you're just kind of seeing how it developed in the newspapers and how accurate they actually were. And, you know, back in those times, the reporting is about 1,000 times better. Thank you, Holly. Thank you. That's right. To the generous freaks. Right here. I mean, you guys have been, you know, we don't have, you know, every night's not going to be the same. You guys have been so generous lately that we're, you know, we're ahead of schedule. Pretty much like last month. So, awesome. Oh, I don't know. Well, all of them. They're all interesting. All the, you know, serial killers are very strange. It's just really odd. Their mind and how they do things. He got away with this for so long. You know, he didn't really get away with it that long, to be honest with you. You know, he got arrested, then he got out, he broke out and stuff like that. So we'll get through all that later, but he wasn't really out on the run that long. He just killed a ton of people during that time. You know, he's confirmed he's got like, I don't know, I mean, you know, 27, 28 people. But some people think he's killed in 100, like 100 people. Yeah, he wasn't out and about too long. But what sucks is after, I believe that some of the murders, a lot of them were after he escaped. Cause I remember watching a show, but let me just show you what the itinerary is here. So we've just done all of these. So next time will probably be just Utah. I'll see though. I mean, it's possible I could sneak in Colorado on that because it's not too much different there if they're short. And two of them are people that survive, so there's not going to be a lot of coverage in the paper. So maybe we'll do Utah and Colorado, and then you can see right here in 1975 it switched. You know, there's one in Idaho and then Utah again, and then all the rest were Florida. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. He might have claimed he did 50 to keep, stay alive, so they want his help to recover the bodies. You don't really know. I mean, if you're going to admit to 28, why, or whatever it is, why not admit to the other 20 something? And by the way, let me ask you: do you guys think it's mean when I say, in the chat? I mean, I don't really know. For me, it bothers me when people go for, oh yeah, because he this one time he did this, and then he took that must be that one case he did this and that and the other thing. Because I don't want it. I'm trying to do it where we're sort of picturing it like we never had heard of him before, and we're just going through these newspaper articles. And I try to explain it, but it seems like it doesn't work. So what do you guys think about that? I mean, maybe I could try to just not care that people are talking about the whole case. Yeah, I totally agree, Nicole. That's the thing. It's like I don't really know what I'm supposed to do, but seems like it's kind of obvious. It's like when you tell somebody, okay, hey everybody, I'm going to have you guys do a joke. Now keep all this in your head. Now 5 plus 7 is, and then you see somebody type in 12. Well, how come you typed in 12 when I just told you it's all done in your head? Yeah. Yeah, that Mindhunter show is sweet. Yeah, but I mean, why don't they know? Because I say it 5 times during the show. It's Chris. That's the problem. Yeah, it's like, I think I'm pretty clear. Coming together, remember keeping an eye on us outside like she never had before. Yeah, I could definitely see that. Yeah. Yeah. What are you laughing at, Zozo? Yeah. Why not though, Rhea Mazaron? Why not? Yeah, I don't know what it is. It's like they think you're leaving something out, and they want you to know how much they know. Yeah, I guess so. You might be right, Rhea Mazaron. Maybe the moderators, in that case, you can just remove the comments, then I can just keep going. That's what I'm trying to do, Sooner History. I'm just looking at it, I mean, I've made a couple comments like, he likes the brown, everybody knows those things. But I didn't know any of this stuff right here. Like every single thing that we went over tonight and how it all went down, I had no clue. None of it. So for me, it was really interesting because I absolutely had no idea. Didn't even know where, that one was in Corvallis. I didn't know that, these particular instances where this lady sees a guy with a cast on, keeps fumbling with something, luring somebody. You wonder where his vehicle was all this time. Like, yeah, just help me to my vehicle. Just help me. Oh, man, that's exactly what he would do. Like this whole situation here, I'd never heard of this. None of this. So it's cool because we always hear about, oh, yeah, Ted Bundy, yeah, he killed this many. And I'm sure in the books you have all of that information, but we're just doing it out of the newspaper. No, because we're nowhere near that. Sweet dreams. We're just doing we're not even talking about what you just talked about. No, we don't know anything about that. We're now just going to be moving on to his victims in Utah. Or was it Colorado? No, I can't remember. Yeah, Utah's next, and then Colorado. That's right. So mean. Yeah, but almost everybody has seen, you know, that Zac Efron guy was Ted Bundy in one of the movies. You know, people have watched some of his. You know, we might even get to, after we go through all of these, you'll obviously, you know, we all know he gets arrested at some point, so we could go through that, and maybe then there's more details on what he did to each of them, and then we can go back through that again. See, I think that'll be interesting. It's better than that. Oh, Mark Harmon did that too? Wow. Yeah. Yeah, I saw you mention that, Zozo. That you saw that. That's why I remembered. I thought of saying it, because I remember seeing that he was doing that. But I mean, how about you guys though? Like when people bring that stuff up, are you like, oh wow, that's so cool? I'm just curious. Because if all of you like it, then I guess I won't care. If you don't mind when people say, oh God, this is the one where, you know, he did this and that, and then he, you know, and goes through everything that happened. And then maybe I'll just turn my blinders on. Yeah. 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 Right, we already went over that. Helps you remember what? Oh, well, that's cool. Alright, well I think most of you like it better when it's just kind of, you're going through it like it's fresh. Yeah, I like to do everything in order where it's just laid out and it makes sense. And then after it makes sense, you start putting in the rest of the pieces, and then you'll know it really well. I mean, just think about after tonight's show, you know. You got them all. Remember, Linda Ann Healy was in her basement. They found a saucer sized blood, I think, I think it was the pillow, and then some blood on some sheets and a nightgown. Apparently she was like abducted from her basement. Yeah, I think it was Donna Gail Manson. What was this one? I can't remember exactly what she was doing, but I mean, it's just, you know, we'll go back over them at the end when we go over each victim again and what happened to them. I'm sure it's described somewhere out there, and then it'll be wow. And you guys will know it as well as anybody. And you'll have a visual reference in your mind, too. That's right. Remember she was going to like listen to some music or something. Can't remember that one right now. But they all just vanished. Every single one of them. Well, thanks, Saba. Alright, let me get to the... Oh, yeah? Crazy. Don't tell us where it is, Nori. Don't do it. Don't do it. Okay. Is this today? All of them? Oh, yeah. That's right. There was another show prior. Unfortunately. Okay. And those don't have a show associated with them.
Thank you to Zozo, Lee D, Nicole Wilson, Mabel Quintanilla, Emily Flotilla, Giggle in South Carolina, Jennifer Cochran Fent, Cheryl Stuckey, Connie Lee, Tracy, and Cheryl Curtis. And on the new show, Shogun Love, Sooner History, Kathy Friedemaker, Jennifer Cochran Fent, Heads W, Amber Maiden, Half Rudder, Play-Doh, Rhea Nazarone, Nicole Wilson. Oh, and Amber Maiden was a double cat eye. Katja T, Rita Schaefer, Sooner History, Nicole Wilson, Susie Heath, Timothy Cecil, Katja T, Shiggy England, Amber E, Living It, as in living a dream, Holly.
All right. Thank you guys very much for being generous freaks, keeping the ship going. Our goal now is 40,000 from the channel at the end of the year. I think we should be able to do it. We had some months where I MUNTS that I put way more. Like, let's say the channel brought in, I think it was like 8,000, let's say, right? And then I get taxed 28%, so then all of a sudden now it's 6,000 something, but I donated 4,000. So, my part was way less than 50%. Okay? And that's what helps out with the PayPal, because then I'll take some of that to make it that big. You know what I'm saying? All right, awesome. Yeah, it didn't work out mathematically for me a couple times, but I wanted to build up those the DNA funds and everything. So it is what it is. It is what it is. Yeah, we've been doing flybys. 2 nights out of the last 3. Must have missed it. Yeah, well, I couldn't be as generous of a freak if you guys weren't generous freaks. That's how it works. I just thought I'd scare you guys for it was so quiet,
Gosh, Gray, that was so mean. I mean, there was people that were probably really relaxed.
I know, that's the point. Don't you get it? Oh, there we go. All right, that was good. Yeah. Hey, well, look out for Halloween, man. That sucker's coming. I think I'm gonna get my next colonoscopy, everybody, in November. Yeah, we'll go through it all together. I'll sit on the air. I'll drink through my little drink and have to run to the bathroom every hour or so, and then we'll get up in the morning and get over there, and yay, so fun. Oh yeah, play-by-play. It's gonna be great. Yeah, that's the thing is Lookner didn't do it though. That's what gave me the idea. I was watching Lookner, but he didn't do the damn thing. He like passed out or something. Why? What did Sarita do? What happened? What do you mean shout out to Sarita? What'd she do? I thought that was kind of lame, actually. Like, come on, dude. You do that whole thing and you can't... Let's see. I mean, I actually send him money because he's, you know, he does a pretty good service. I didn't like him during the election. He was very biased. But, you know, for being called agenda-free TV, he sure didn't seem to not have an agenda. He was, like, very one-sided. But he always, you know... Here's the thing with, like, Lookner. I know exactly how much work it takes to do what he does. He spends just a ton... I mean, it just takes so much time to do it. Yeah, I hope he figures out what's going on. So I'll send him super chats here and there, just because you know, I support what he does in general. Just not when he does politics. Yeah, you know what's funny, when you go back and when Lookner was talking, when COVID first became known out there. And it made it over to the United States. And it was so funny because I remember when he said this. And even then I go, oh, come on. He goes, 400 cases? Oh, my God. 400? You know, I typed in, I go, Steve, if there's 400 cases, that means there's thousands. It's you know, that became ridiculous. You get 400 in a town now. I just thought it was funny. Alright, okay, you guys. Well, that's going to be it for me, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Not sure what's in store for tomorrow, but we'll see you then. And that's it. All right, so we'll do the flyby again at that newer location. I still have some more exploring to do at that one. Where is it? Yeah, this one is different than the other one. I like this one. Look at that. That's crazy, huh? But we're not going to go do that one quite yet. Alright, you guys. We'll see you guys tomorrow. And, yeah. Another day. Another show. We'll see you guys tomorrow. And as I always say, everybody, until next time, be safe out there. Well, I just saluted you guys, but you can't see it. Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now. And during this whole time, I have not seen one person that is a crime dissector, thug rejector. I'm a certified human lie detector. Gonna get ya on a stretcher if you try and play me like an old projector. Crime sector is my nectar. Professor Gray is gonna give another lecture. Crime collector, freak connector, and I'm always gonna be a fuck protector. Fool deflector, interceptor, and I'm meaner than a spectre with a vector on his pector. With all respect, y'all, just remember I've a temper fucking check ya. I have no agenda, I'm no pretender, and I'll serve it to you straight without the blender. And in the end, I'm gonna send ya on a mission to reveal the true offender. Yeah, so I'll just get right back to work. Alright, everybody? Talk to you later.
Gee, Gray, it's almost like Moore's, isn't it?
You talking to me? Just talk to yourself, okay?
Okay, goodbye. Whee! It's so fun. Hey, Gray, look, it looks like a skull. Looks like a skull right there. Gray, can you see it? Ooh, look at it, there's an eyeball. There's an eyeball there and an eyeball. Look, Gray, good.
Mary Lou, it's just a rock.
Oh, okay, thank you.
I don't want the mic, I don't want the mic, I don't want the mic, I don't want the mic. Da 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 da.
Yeah, I think it would be pretty amazing. It'd be cool to fly a drone around out here.
Hey everybody, what do you think? Really cool, huh?
Yes, Mary Lou.
Hey, look at that, a camper. Wow. Looks so natural there. Dark side, very detailed. Almost looks like Mars, doesn't it? Everybody, look at that! It's an empty light.
Well, how do you know that's the name of it?
Well, there's so many out there that one has to be that name.
Oh, that's probably good. That's probably true, Mary Lou. All right, Mary Lou, you have yourself a great evening.
What do you have to do the whistle for, Jay?
You cried like that from a whistle? Wow.
Yes, I did, Gray.
Okay, well, you keep on doing that. All right, everybody, we'll see you guys tomorrow. And as I always say, everybody, until next time, be safe out there.